Hey guys, it's Zaria. Welcome back to my channel. It feels so good to be filming again because we have been moving from our apartment into our beautiful new home. I will have some videos coming out about our new home, but for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this. So I decided to make a couple little Halloween kind of inspired Disney BoO to YoU themed crafts, if you will. So these are both Dollar Tree crafts. Everything that I used to make these was from Dollar Tree with the exception of like maybe paint or something like that. So really quick, just so you guys know, these cute little Mickey pumpkins right here, they were not my idea. I follow this amazing Instagrammer and I have been since I started my YouTube channel. Her Instagram I will have linked below. You guys have to go follow her. She does the most amazing Disney crafts, and I promise, like, go check her out right now. Her Instagram name is My Joy Story, and she is the real deal. I believe she actually hit 10K on Instagram, and it is so well deserved. I love her tutorials. So I sent her a message, but we've been chatting for a while, and I just asked her if it was okay with her if I did one of her crafts on my channel, and she said yes. And of course, I wanted to give her all the credit. This was totally her idea. I did tweak it a little bit just based on like what I had in my house. But it still came out so cute. So if you want to go see the original inspiration, please go over, follow her, like the photo, let her know I sent you. And now without further ado, let's get into this tutorial.
So starting with the cute little Mickey and Minnie pumpkins, I picked up these from Dollar Tree. I got the kind of larger kind with a little clip on the back and then a set of the tiny ones that have like a wire on the back. I also picked up these little terracotta potted plants. You get 3 for $1, so a really good deal. They are the smallest size that they have. And then you're also going to be needing some white chalk paint. I use this Rust-Oleum one. It has lasted me forever, and it is so much better than acrylic paint when you're trying to cover something because you don't have to do like a million coats. And then you're obviously going to need a brush of some kind. I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree sponge brush. So starting off, I did paint my pumpkins using that white Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and then I'm going to go in with this apple barrel pumpkin orange acrylic paint. Now the reason I had to paint them white first is because when I tried just to go straight to the orange paint, it wasn't showing up. It was like, it looked like water. It just didn't do anything. So I did decide to paint them white first and then go in with this, and it worked perfectly. Now I am dabbing on the paint. I am not like wiping the paint. It gives it a lot better of a coverage, and it does leave a little bit of texture behind, but to me that just made it look more like a real pumpkin. And then moving on to the smaller pumpkins, I'm doing the exact same thing, just sponging on that orange paint. These do have a wire on the back. I am going to shorten them, but just make sure that you don't throw the wire away because I'm going to actually use the wire later in order to put the large pumpkin into that little pot that I got. But after shortening it, you're just going to take that first mini pumpkin and you're going to poke it into the side of your larger pumpkin. These are going to be Mickey's ears. And honestly, if you mess up a little bit and need to shift one over, you won't see the little hole that it created, so it's not a big deal. And then moving on to Minnie, I'm going to do the exact same thing, just shorten these. I'm going to set the wires off to the side, and then I'm going to poke in the little ears. For Minnie's bow, I used this green ribbon from Dollar Tree that I already had on hand. I just snipped off a little tiny piece. I'm folding it over and hot gluing it to make a loop, and then I'm going to snip off another piece for the center. I will be pinching the bow kind of like this, and then I'm going to wrap that other piece around in the center. I'm just checking the size here to make sure that I made it big enough. And again, I'm just snipping off a little piece of ribbon. Again, it's nothing super complicated, but the hardest part is just pinching the ribbon because it is so tiny. But then I'm pinching it and then wrapping this other piece around. And then I will hot glue the bottom of what's left and just snip off the excess of the ribbon. Now I am just fluffing out the bow, and this is pretty much what it looks like all finished. I'm just going to add a little dot of hot glue and then firmly press it down onto my Minnie Mouse pumpkin. So next is these little terracotta pots. I painted them white using my Rust-Oleum white chalk paint, and then I put in these little styrofoam balls. I did pick these up from Dollar Tree. And then I also put the stem of the pumpkin back into the top of both my Minnie and my Mickey pumpkin. To make these look a little bit more finished and nice, I'm taking this Dollar Tree reindeer moss and I'm applying a lot of hot glue on top of that styrofoam ball, and then I'm just going to tap down the moss. Be careful with this part because it's possible you can burn yourself. Just so you guys know, Dollar Tree does sell these little silicone finger covers for hot glue, so you can like touch the hot glue and not burn yourself. So if you're afraid of burning yourself, or if you burn yourself all the time, it might be a good thing to pick up next time you're there. But I'm just making them look nice and full, covering up that styrofoam ball so it looks more like grass. And then I am going to add a little bit of hot glue onto the bottom of my Mickey pumpkin and then insert the wire that we clipped off earlier and saved. So again, when you clip off the wire from the little pumpkins, just make sure you save it because that is what I used in order to shove these down into that styrofoam ball. I didn't push it all the way down. I kind of liked how it looked a little bit raised up above the moss. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I thought these came out so cute. And you can obviously tweak it however you want. You could add different designs to the pots or a different kind of bow to Minnie. It's your call, totally customizable, but I thought they were very BoO to you and adorable. Now for the next tutorial, we're going to take these items and make them into a sign that says BoO to you. So I picked up this little BoO cutout from Dollar Tree, which was amazing. And then the door hanger is also from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint those black using my Waverly ink black chalk paint. This is just an option. I didn't end up doing this, but I still wanted to show you guys in case you liked it better. You can take scrapbook paper and Mod Podge it onto the door cover. I had this one that looked kind of like whitewashed wood planks. And I just traced the back of the door, or the front of the door hanger. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really hard to voice over. I traced the front of the door hanger and then I cut out the paper and I'm just kind of lining it up and seeing if I liked how it looked. Again, I didn't end up doing this, but I thought maybe some of you might like this better, or if you've got some really cute Halloween scrapbook paper, that might look good too. So now I'm going to snip off the tag from the BoO sign, and I'm going to be taking this white acrylic paint and this sponge brush. I am ripping the sponge part off of the stick. This also works really well if you have those little wedge makeup brushes, but I'm going to use the white to kind of line this letter. This is going to provide more depth to it and make it look like it's really popping out off of the sign. Just so you guys know, I had never done this before. I just thought it would work, and it did. But just take it slow if you're nervous about it. And it honestly, guys, it's acrylic paint. Like, you could just wipe it off and then paint back over it in black if it gets messed up. It's not a big deal. But I'm just taking this little sponge brush and I am just gently wiping it along the edges of the letters, including the insides of the openings. The hardest part of this was definitely the holes on the B. The O was super easy, and all the outer lines were really easy, but the inside of this first letter was just a little bit challenging for me. And then I'm just going to continue this along the entire thing to make it pop out a little bit more. Next, I'm doing the exact same thing on the door hanger sign. You don't have to do this step, but I really do feel like it gave it a finished look and made it look like one cohesive piece. And then obviously I am going to let this dry so that I'm not smearing white paint anywhere. And next I'm going to go ahead and paint my ghosts. So these are little, like, I don't know what these are called. They're kind of like ornaments, but they have ghosts, pumpkins, witch hats. They have a lot of different options. I did pick up the ghosts last year, but they do still have them this year. And they're kind of like a pine color, so I'm just going in and painting them white, just using regular old acrylic paint. I am going to make a bow for one of them so that it looks like Minnie Mouse. And I already have this felt on hand, so I'm going to make a little candy corn bow. So I folded it in half and I cut just kind of a general bow shape, and now I'm just going to trim it up. Then I'm going to take my yellow felt and make a stripe, and then the white will be the center of the bow. There wasn't much science to this, guys. I think it's kind of trial and error, but luckily the bow is so tiny, if you did mess it up, you could always try again. And then I will show you guys another option of a bow where you don't have to make it in a second. But once I had my stripes kind of lined up and sized the way that I like them, I just used a little bit of hot glue to attach them to the orange part. For the actual letters on my sign, I did cut these out using my silhouette, and I just did 2U, and then under it I put NU, NU. I actually did NU, 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 but it was too long, so I'm gonna cut it and like size it down. If you guys don't have a silhouette, I did do a tutorial on how to put really nice crisp lettering on your signs, and all you need is a printer. You don't need any kind of silhouette or Cricut or anything like that. So if you don't have a die cut machine, I'm going to link that tutorial below and above so that you guys can use my little quote-unquote cheaters method. You could also use stickers or an actual stencil. All of those would be really good options. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I want to use my silhouette because it's awesome, and I do try to give you guys options of other ways of doing it, but I like to use it. Now to attach BoO to the actual sign, I am using my E6000, and I'm going to use hot glue. This just provides a really strong long-term hold, and then the hot glue provides an immediate hold. So basically it keeps it in place while that E6000 is setting and drying. And then I'm just using this little pokey thing that I bought from Walmart years ago in the tools section to wipe off the excess glue that kind of oozed out on the sides. And next we're going to cut the Mickey ears for the ghosts. So I did already do one. When you trace your ghost, make sure you leave space for the ears. I kept putting it right on the edge and then being like, oh, duh. I'm using a little cap of that acrylic paint that broke off actually to trace the ears. I just thought it was the right size. So I would just check your house for something circular that's small, and then I just traced it onto the head, and I'm going to cut out the head of the ghost and the ears. The reason I didn't just cut out the ears is because I wanted the black background behind the mouth and the eyes of the ghost. I didn't want it to be see-through. So now I'm just trimming it up in a few spots, and I'm going to glue this down using my tacky glue. You could use hot glue for this. I just don't love using hot glue with paper. And also, if you're worried about the paper, or maybe if you want to use this outside, I would suggest Scotch guarding the entire thing and probably using craft foam instead of paper. This was the alternative for the bow. I am going to use these little bat stickers on my sign. They're from Dollar Tree and they're made of felt, and it was just an alternative to making the bow. And then on my Mickey ghost, I'm using some drywall patch because I wanted to fill the hole on his forehead so that he didn't just have a little hole on the top of his head. And then I did go over it and paint it white just so that you couldn't see what I had done. Now I'm using that tacky glue to attach the ears. And obviously I'm going to do this on both of my ghosts, and then on my Minnie Mouse ghost I will be hot gluing on that little candy corn bow. Next step is to attach the ghost to the sign. So I'm just going to be using hot glue. I didn't feel the need to use E6000 for this. If you're worried about it, of course, go ahead and do that. But I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue, and then I did place them at an angle where it looks like they're kind of flying toward each other. And that's what the sign looks like, almost finished, but I did decide to add more of those little felt bat stickers from Dollar Tree. Now I'm not going to stick them on using the sticky adhesive, I am going to be hot gluing them on. I just thought this added a cute little extra element as well as another texture to my sign. And again, these are from Dollar Tree along with every other thing that I think I've used in this tutorial, because my Dollar Tree sells like felt and paint and stuff like that. If yours doesn't, don't worry, Walmart sells it for a really good price too. But that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. If you have any questions on anything or where I got something, of course, just ask me in the comments below or message me on Instagram. You can follow me over at DreamItDIY. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little BoO to You inspired tutorial video. And if you stayed with me all the way to the end, then in the comments below, please let me know which Sanderson sister is your favorite, or which Skylar sister is your favorite from Hamilton. And the reason I'm asking that question is because of my super awesome, amazing t-shirt that I totally copied from my best friend Erica. So if you guys can see, it's literally the Sanderson sisters in the like work position from Hamilton, where the Skylar sisters are singing and they're like, work. Oh my God. Praise. Love it. Anyway, so that's my shirt. So down below, even though this is not a Hocus Pocus inspired craft and there are more of those coming, please tell me who your favorite Skylar sister was. And that way Skylar or Sanderson sister is, or both, and then I will know that you stayed with me to the end of the video. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.